First of all, there is no cybersecurity certification that is forever. That is what I have to now say. In cybersecurity certifications, mostly it lasts within 3 years. So once you are satisfied as a cybersecurity expert, 3 years you need to write the same exams again to attain another certification. Unlike degree university, you are done with the polytechnic or now technical university, you take your certification and you go till retirement. Cybersecurity is not like that. So we have about 6 domains in cybersecurity. Each domain that you are expert in, you are a cybersecurity expert. We have governance, risk, and compliance. Your duty is simple. Ensure that institutions are complying with best practices. Let me tell you something. Do you know that we have less than 1,000 cybersecurity experts in Ghana? I'm telling you right now. And it's very sad that you have a whole country with a population of 30 plus million, and then we have less than, we have more, about 700 to 800 cybersecurity experts. Look at the ratio, it's very bad. For instance, you have certification or you have knowledge in ethical hacking. So every 3 years, you will need to write in the exams again. So the set of exams you wrote 3 years ago may be updated to suit the current trend of security. All right. So let me use example. 3 years back, exams were not included with regards to deepfakes. That has to do with AI. But currently, exams will include artificial intelligence. So these are this kind of exams. So it's not as if you go and sit in the class to learn all over again. It's just a set of exams that will include the latest trend, cyber threat. You will need to also learn what is the latest trend. Gone are the days when they call you and say, I've sent you Momo in your account. Now they don't do that. They push a cash out direct. So you sit down without being aware, you receive a pop-up that you have authorized to withdraw so and so amount. They have also migrated themselves.
Welcome back to Major Vibes. My name is Sadiq, and today in the studios I'm joined in by Mr. Abubakar Issaka, who is a cybersecurity expert and president of
the Cybersecurity Expert Association of Ghana.
All right, okay.
Yes.
Wait, in this introduction, I'm pretty sure most of you know where this conversation will be heading. So we're talking about cybersecurity, trends, and career guide. So my first question to you would be, sorry, I didn't even welcome you. You're welcome to Major Vibes.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm grateful to be here.
All right. Thank you so much. Okay, so my first question to you would be to tell us what drew you to pursue a career in cybersecurity and your journey to find a job.
Well, initially, thank you very much for having me once again. Initially, it's a passion-driven initiative where we need to have the ability to think about security in terms of the cyberspace in the country. So once there is a passion-driven angle, then the effort to learn and also stay in the field is also one of the key aspects. Suffice to explain that I am also into the IT space. And so I sort of had a transition from the IT to the cybersecurity. Mind you, these are two different angles that you can talk of. So in the IT industry, I'm an IT expert, but I have to move into cybersecurity to ensure that the digital infrastructures are secure using my expertise. So that is how I move in, and then I have the passion to safeguard people, and naturally once I have gone through.
So I'm sorry, does that mean somebody can make a successful transition from a different field into cybersecurity?
Exactly. If you are in any department, there is the chance, a very greater chance, that you can transition from any department that you are, or any institution that you are, or any expertise that you are having into cybersecurity. However, there are certain prerequisites and requirements that possibly, if you ask me later, I will be highlighting to you that you have to satisfy, so that at the end of the day, you can be called a cybersecurity expert.
But would you say that field has evolved since you started your career in cybersecurity?
Yes, the field has evolved, and I will say that evolving of the field is very rapid. is so rapid that sometimes it happens at the blink of an eye. Let me use Microsoft to cite as an example. Gone are the days where you have Microsoft providing security on a monthly basis. It got to a point where the attack in Microsoft were becoming too many. So the security was reduced into weekly. So we call it every Friday. You see that Microsoft release updates for you to update your Microsoft systems. Now, the Microsoft is so aggressive in such a way that they are doing what we call the zero-day trust or zero trust, where they are now giving daily cybersecurity updates. So today, you might how do you call it, upgrade your security. Tomorrow, it will be required for you to upgrade again, because the attackers are attacking on daily basis. So the latest update you are having, the attacker is using the night to crack into it. So tomorrow you need to provide another form of security. So looking at the trend in which we have the time frame, the gap in providing security, and then the gap or the trend in which the attacks are occurring in the system, and recently that you can see sophisticated attacks happening in areas that you even least expect, I must say that it's evolving so much, and it's even faster than any department or institution you can think of.
All right. So with such a rapid evolvement happening, how do you keep up with the trends in cybersecurity and the technologies happening? How do you keep up with it?
Well, first of all, there is no cybersecurity certification that is forever. That is what I have to now see. In cybersecurity certifications, mostly it lasts within 3 years. So once you are satisfied as a cybersecurity expert, 3 years, you need to write the same exams again to attain another certification. Unlike degree university, you are done with the polytechnic or now technical university, you take your certification and you go till retirement. Cybersecurity is not like that. So this is to say that cybersecurity is actually something that you will have to be updating yourself with, even on the aspect of certification. Now, in human beings, for instance, myself as a cybersecurity expert, I try to keep up to the pace by constantly ensuring that I get my network right. I have a whole pool of network that I actually attend to, both locally and internationally. And I also try to ensure that once there are conferences, seminars, summit that are related to cybersecurity, I attend, because these are some of the areas that you can hear latest trends, latest ideas, and new insights. You can retool yourself, reskill yourself using these kind of seminars and experts. And I must say, it has actually moved me to part of African countries where last year I was in Lagos, Nigeria, to attend the conference. I learned a whole lot. Maybe there are times I may share. It's so interesting. So these are some of the things that we do to keep up with the pace.
So the certification given from these seminars, or you have to take an actual exams? Because what you just said means that certification is very important on the job.
Yes. So very well.
What is it like? Let's say, assume every 3 months or 4 months, 5 months, you have to go back to school, study some different books or something just to add.
All right. Let me clarify that. The aspect of certification that is actually done on a regulation basis or on a periodic basis is something that you just need to sit and write the exams. So, for instance, you have certification or you have knowledge in ethical hacking. So every 3 years, you will need to write in the exams again. So the set of exams you wrote 3 years ago may be updated to suit the current trend of security.
All right.
So let me use example. 3 years back, exams were not included with regards to deepfakes. That has to do with AI. But currently, exams will include artificial intelligence. So these are this kind of exams. So it's not as if you go and sit in the class to learn all over again. It's just a set of exams that will include the latest trend. But on the aspect of the conferences, it's just self-knowledge or self-impact that you would have to be giving to yourself. Because aside the exams, aside the certification, you will need to also learn other aspects of handling cyber threat. You will need to also learn what is the latest trend. Gone are the days when they call you and say, I've sent you Momo in your account. Now they don't do that. They push a cash out direct. So you sit down without being aware, you receive a pop-up that you have authorized to withdraw so and so amount. They have also upgraded themselves. So as a cybersecurity expert, so we understand these sort of threats that is coming. There are certain areas of attack that you may not have been prone to, but based on this networking, these conferences and seminars, you will get to hear that, okay, so these are the new angle they are coming up with. So they let me also be abreast with it.
The people that are always hacking the systems and stuff, are they also learned people like yourself that go to school and do that? Because sometimes there are tricks and the flaws that they use to get their money is really hard. They are very intelligent.
Very, very hard. Let me explain this. We have the different hat colors, and then we have the different teams in cybersecurity. So the fact that we are in the blue team or the red teams does not mean that we have other unethical hackers in the system. So the same knowledge I learned in the school is the same knowledge they have also acquired, but then they have decided to use it for malicious purposes. I could also choose that line today if I want to do so, because right now if I hold my machine now, I see everybody vulnerable. So it's just my conscience and the principle that is binding cybersecurity, which talks about the CIA. I will tell you about the CIA, the confidentiality, the integrity and availability that I am using as a core principle as a cybersecurity expert. That is actually preventing me from possibly seeing that you are vulnerable and hacking you. But those people, they've learned, and they are learning on an hourly basis. Now it's not even on a daily basis, surprisingly. They always try to look for loopholes, areas that they can use to siphon money from. If it's about crypto mining, they are there. If it's about social engineering, they are doing it. If it's about penetration testing, they are doing it. So that is why the industry cybersecurity experts, that in this case, this topic we are talking about, we need to increase our number. Let me tell you something. Do you know that we have less than 1,000 cybersecurity experts in Ghana? I'm telling you right now. And it's very sad that you have a whole country with a population of 30 plus million, and then we have less than, we have more, about 700 to 800 cybersecurity experts. Look at the ratio, it's very bad. That is why there is a need for people to start thinking about moving into cybersecurity.
Maybe I should just take this step.
You have to.
But you've mentioned a whole lot of stuff, and some of them I'm seeing them as challenges, but I don't know if you consider them as challenges.
Mm-hmm.
So could you tell us any challenges that you have to experience on the job, like you have to face normally doing your job? Any challenges?
Let me zero it down to Ghana. We have a culture of trust. It's a very big challenge. Our culture of trust in such a way that we seem to trust anybody that we see around. Cybersecurity principle doesn't work that way. Cybersecurity has a principle that says zero trust. Zero trust means that you and I sitting here, I shouldn't believe you. I shouldn't leave my phone or my watch here and go thinking that you look after it. I get in my principle. But coming down to Ghana, people have that trust. As soon as you see, oh bro, hi bro, how are you doing? Then, let me go to the washroom. Can you take care of my bag? Just like that. You don't know where the person is coming from, but it's like there's something like Ghanaian in you it's a very big challenge. And that is what is affecting us in various institutions, even individually. And it's a very big challenge for we, the cybersecurity experts, that we have to be confronted with. And you see somebody, if you log in, it's an application, he will log in and say, I've just logged in, so you do some entries, I'm going somewhere and I'll be back. Very dangerous. Because the person can do an entry in your name and then to go back to affect you. I have seen people losing their jobs through this kind of trust system, because you are a brother, you are working in the same institution. Then I log in, I say, you can do your entries. Then the person go in, for instance, a banking institution, to push your account from one person to another using your name. If we, the expert, come to conduct forensics or cybersecurity audit, we will see that that happened in my name, not your name. And I will be arrested, not you. But why was it so? It was because I trusted you. It was because I have the culture of trust, thinking that we are all brothers. I get it. So it's a very big challenge in the industry.
And what advice would you give somebody who is considering a job in the field and are there any ethical considerations they must put in mind?
Yes. Let me go back to the concept of the CIA. Cybersecurity sits on a very solid rock. We call them the three solid rocks: the confidentiality, the integrity, and the availability. If you are not someone that can be confidential, do not think about moving into cybersecurity. If you are not someone that can have integrity.
When you say confidential, what does it mean?
All right, so be able to keep private information private.
All right.
For example, I just go into your system right now and have seen possibly your transactions that you have done that are illegal. I shouldn't go and be telling any other person about it. It's within the job. So whatever we are doing within the job stays within the job. You should not go out to be telling. So that you see the person present, you see this bro person, oh Charlie, I had access to his system. Charlie, he's having a whole lot of stuff that is not acceptable. No. That is the confidentiality I'm talking about. If you don't have that core principle, forget about it. Integrity. They need to look at you and respect you. They need to look at you and know that you are somebody that they can rely on. They need to look at you and say, okay, this is a person that we can hand over our whole confidential document, our whole server room to handle. And availability. It's not as if today we are being attacked, today we are under attack, we are calling you and say, oh, and today I'm not even available. No, you need to be available at the time you are needed. These are the three principles that if you are having a mindset to move into cybersecurity, you should have. But let me allay all fears that cybersecurity has so many domains, right? People think cybersecurity is only ethical hacking. Let me tell you today, cybersecurity is not all about ethical hacking. We have about 6 domains in cybersecurity. Each domain that you are expert in, you are a cybersecurity expert. We have governance, risk, and compliance. Your duty is simple. Ensure that institutions are complying with best practices, international best standards. You are an expert. That angle of expertise requires you to learn. Reading is not even about coding. I get in it. And then we have the forensics aspect where you now have to do investigation. This laptop was being attacked, but how do I know who was the one behind it? Then we have to now come in to examine the laptop to see who attacked this. So I can go on and on with the list. Then we have the certified ethical hackers. We even have the SOC analysts, and then we have all aspect penetration testers. So all these domains that I'm mentioning, okay, are areas that you can specialize in. Of course, you can specialize in all, but it's always recommended that once you specialize in one of them, you are okay, and you can move into the cybersecurity industry as a fully fledged cybersecurity professional. So yes, it's good for us to start thinking about shifting our career into cybersecurity, because let me tell you what, it's very, very lucrative. Yes.
All right. I have an objection to make. When you mentioned about ethics and that a cybersecurity professional must have, you spoke about confidentiality. And the example you give was that if, let's say, you have access to somebody's system and then you realize that they are doing some malicious stuff. Let's say the example you gave was about transaction that were illegal. Don't you think as a cybersecurity professional, it's your job to stop it?
I think you have just given me a point to rehash on it. And what I was talking about has to do with the fact that when you see an act, okay, of an attack of a sort, you need to probably report it to the appropriate channel, but do not escalate it to any angle.
Right.
That is what I was trying to imply in that context. So for instance, you and I are in the same office. We have our boss. And then I realize that you are doing a malicious act. I report to the boss. I've observed as a cybersecurity expert that Mr. So-and-so is involved in this act. But it's not within myself to take the institutional information outside. Right. Then once I see you passing, I say, you see this bro person, this is what he has been doing. This is what I saw him doing maliciously. That is unethical. you need to be confidential. And let me also use another example to cite in this aspect of confidentiality. They may have critical information in an institution that should stay in the institution. Everybody knows that in every institution have a dark spot. And once you are able to have access to all the information, you need to ensure that all the information stays there. This is the channel in which institutionally we go through our operations. It's not for you to go out and be sharing, because you don't know who you may be sharing it to. As far as you are sharing to somebody, you are even exposing vulnerabilities to your institution. That is what I'm talking about in terms of confidentiality. You are not supposed to tell someone who isn't actually needed to have preview to what the information you are giving to be giving the information to. The person doesn't need to know about the information. Don't give the information to the person. Don't go about sharing information. For example, let me use the doctor's institutions. For example, you see a patient coming in with maybe gonorrhea. Then you finish treating the patient, and then you are sitting down. The patient is passing, and you are saying, "You see this broad person, he has gono." These are the kind of things I'm talking about in the industry in cybersecurity. But that is not to say that do not report ethical and do not report attacks. Once you spot attacks, yes, of course, it's highly encouraged that you report attack. And that is why in Ghana right now, we have a whole act, which is the Act 1038, which we call the Cybersecurity Act. Now we have the Cybersecurity Authority, which is a government statutory institution that we encourage people to report to such institution. I think the number is 292, that once you spot any threats, you need to call and report so that they apprehend the perpetrators.
So with such a low number of cybersecurity professionals in Ghana, what are some of the trends that really see the trends like in the future you foresee, and how professionals can prepare for them?
All right, the trends that are coming, I will have to use one for now, and that is the biggest and the mother of all. We have the artificial intelligence, coming in. We have generative AI coming in. It's a big trend that we would need experts to come in to handle these innovations that is coming in our digital infrastructure. Imagine artificial intelligence or generative AI coming in and ensuring that it's now making life so easy, but people are not paying attention to the dangers that are associated with it. And it's giving we, the expert, a huge burden. Even now that we are having the tip of the iceberg of AI, but we are sweating. Let me not say we are sweating so that people will think that we are really sweating. We are sweating inwardly, but we are up to the task. So that is what I can tell you about trends, that we need more hands on deck to be able to combat cybersecurity in future, because day in and day out. Now, you say you are using artificial intelligence, AI, some generative AI like ChatGPT to learn, right? The malicious actor is using it to learn how to hack you. So what you are learning, he is now coming in harder on you. So that's why there is a need for more human resource in terms of cybersecurity to come into the system. And trust me, if you are a cybersecurity expert and you move out of the country, you are what we call hot cake. Trust me, you are a hot cake. But even in Ghana, I would encourage that once you are an expert to stay in Ghana, there are a whole lot of institutions that are looking for people that are experts in cybersecurity that they don't get. Trust me, there are cybersecurity incidents that we need to outsource. We need to bring people from Kenya. We need to bring people from South Africa. I think last 3 months there was an attack in an institution that an SQL injection that we need to bring people from Kenya to come in to assist to do the work. It mustn't be like that. That is why we, the experts, and as the president of the Cybersecurity Expert Association, we need to add more hands on deck, conscientizing people to move into the cybersecurity career so that we can have more forces to be able to combat cybercrime. Because trust me, the angle of attackers, they are even outweighing we the expect. And we don't want to see the stage where the criminals are even more than the people to protect. And then when that happens, then it becomes very problematic.
This was really an insightful conversation, and I've learned a lot. Seriously, I've learned some new stuff.
Yes.
And I believe our viewers too would have seen something that they had no idea about.
Sure.
And we thank you so much for coming through.
Thank you.
But before we end the conversation, I would like you to share with us any memorable and impactful experience you've had on your job.
All right, let me go back to my Lagos trip somewhere June last year. It was an impactful journey after I arrived for the Internet of Things IoT conference in West Africa and representing Ghana as the president of the Cybersecurity Expert Association. The warm reception and then how we're able to handle technology and see how Internet of Things is now coming in as a form of innovation in technology where you can possibly sit at the comfort of your house, and by the authorization you can on your air conditioning in your office, sit at the comfort of your house, and even start your irrigation in your farm, sit at the comfort of your house and probably switch your office street light. I saw that technology is so easy now. And these are some of the things that I always want to share to the youth, to know that, see, technology has come to stay and we should be adaptive to technology. Whatever changes that we are seeing happen, we should be able to embrace it. Let's not sit and rely on the old technologies that is happening, so that at least once there are new technologies, no. AI is coming. Me, I'm not an AI person. AI will come after you if you don't follow AI. So that is the angle of some of the insight that I may share. But there are scary parts. There are scary parts that I may have to quickly share that has to do with catching criminals, people using the cyberspace. That is the deepest part of the work that you would have to painfully disclose that at the end of the day in our audit we found out that you were the one attacking the institution, that you may now have to be handcuffed and taken, and they have to rely so much on you because you are the expert that have given the final reports to the institutions to now apprehend this particular person. But we say that once we do that, that means we have reduced the number of hackers or the number of attackers in the system. So yes, I think that I will have to just say that in wrapping up, but to also encourage people to go in for certifications, because there are a whole lot of certifications. We have the IC. I may not, because of time, I may not have to go into the certifications, but we have a whole lot of cybersecurity certifications that maybe if you have time in our next episode, I may highlight to you the type of certifications, or if anyone wants, maybe through Major Vibes, then the person can actually get in contact so that we can let the person understand the type of certification that he may need to get in order to land himself in a cybersecurity job. That will actually pay him very well.
Okay, our viewers, that was Mr. Abubakar Issaka, and we thank you so much for coming to us and giving us this lecture. And I hope everyone that watches this video learns something. And so guys, if you're still here, please do subscribe to our channel and share the video for us. See you next time.